Welcome to Paperweights, the podcast where two self-proclaimed gym rats and shooting enthusiasts delve into the world of literature with a sprinkle of humor. Although their biceps could crush a walnut, don't let that intimidate you. They also have a nerdy side. Mike and Brandon have a voracious appetite for reading, particularly in the fantasy genre, and they want to share their passion with you. So grab your protein shake and your favorite novel and join us for a humorous and insightful journey into the world of books with Paperweights.
Welcome back to another episode of the Paperweights. I'm your host, Brandon.
And Justin.
And to this week is my birthday. So for my birthday, do me a favor if you listen to this, head on over to our sponsor, Mudcat Whiskers. The website is mudcatwhiskers.com, and he sells an array of beard care products, grooming products, colognes, and candles. Today, I just got a nice beard trim and a haircut, and got the product all in, so it's looking pretty nice. So head on over there and check out what he has and support a small business. So, um, so that's gonna be a fun birthday. Um, 41, Justin.
Oof.
41.
Time comes for us all.
It does. So, but today we are going to be discussing the first one third of uh, The Shadow of What Was Lost, book one of the Licanius trilogy by James Islington, I think. I don't think it's Islington.
Yes. Yeah.
It could be
Something.
either one, but so far, I'm enjoying it. Um, it definitely has unique names, but it feels very much like it would be a very condensed version of Wheel of Time.
Yeah. And apologize to the listeners and the author. Wheel of Time's gonna come up a lot because it definitely feels like the author read Wheel of Time and was like, I'm gonna do something like it. And it's very Wheel of Time, which is
Yeah,
fun.
it's well written.
Yeah.
Um, it's annoying. What I've been doing lately with books because it helps my focus, and I don't know why it took me 40 years to find this out, but listening to the audiobook while I'm reading the page helps me focus, and I can actually sit for longer periods of time and read. So I can actually get through more stuff, more books. But with this, for some reason, the Kindle version of the ebook and the Audible version of the audiobook, there are differences very frequently, where like they'll either one will have a shortened, condensed version of it where it's like, oh, and he nodded about something, or he let this go, but then the other version is like, hey, he let this go because and it goes on to explain a short, like a few sentences about some history or some people, and like, why was that left out there? And so it's like different versions of the book apparently.
Yeah, maybe there's a newer edition and they didn't want to re-record the audiobook. That makes no sense.
Yeah,
But yeah, even it's Michael Kramer, so even the wheel of time, it kind of feels like you're reading maybe a different turning of the wheel almost. It's
it
kind of
does.
funny.
Yeah, I love
Um,
Michael Kramer though.
yeah, he's good. I
'Cause
was
I'm,
half expecting Kate Redding to do Ash's chapters.
yeah,
Um,
but just him.
just him.
He does the era two of Mistborn as well. I actually think his narrations of era two of Mistborn are some of my favorite narrations that he has. Yeah, I think he does a lot more voices on it, and I feel the characters through his voices. Like Wheel of Time, it sounds like he's just reading and not necessarily like I know Matt and Rand and Perrin have different voices, Uh, but they're so close, and that was earlier in his career, like what 30 years at this point.
Yeah, yeah,
So
true. Yeah, it's funny because like there's sometimes in the audiobook where like he does his like Stormfather voice. I was like, oh, the Stormfather's here. And it's kind of funny. But yeah, it was interesting getting into this novel. Coming from Red Rising, it was like, oh, we're getting like a shit ton of terms and stuff I need to remember and like spatial thing. It's also one of the only books I've really only listened to the audiobook. I didn't actually read it, um,
okay.
which is interesting. But I'm gonna probably read the second chapter, or maybe do what you're doing, or second section. But it was interesting, and like weirdly, they should do it. Audible should put in the map, which if you just get the audiobook. I wonder if they do that. They should, because I
I
was like,
know, I know with
I
Stormlight
had to
Archives,
look up the map
yeah,
online.
I didn't refer to the map a whole lot. Um,
I couldn't get a good spatial thing of like what were countries and what were like different. It was weird. It was a little jarring. Somewhat.
I think my mind just skipped over that and took places for granted and just said, okay, these people are in different places.
Yeah, but like the Gilshar, that's not a country. That's like a little faction in a different country. But so for a little bit, I was like, is Gilshar like a country? No, it's like the this ruling party in this country. So
Okay.
did you not know that?
Um, I think I forgot what the Gilshar were.
They're basically the White Cloaks. If we want to play. So I guess we can get into the world a little bit, and we can do the summaries. So I think I have what we know about the world correct. You can correct me if I'm wrong. Just gonna lay it out. So, like 2,000 years ago, there was a war, and then they erected a barrier. That's the barrier they talk about in the north. And people have magic called essence. And the people that use magic are called the gifted. And about 20 something years ago, the gifted ruled by this uh, group of people called the augurs who could like read people's minds, see the future, that sort of shit. And then their power waned and fell, and they could no longer do that again. So then there was like a uprising, which overthrew them, and that's when the tenants were formed to basically be the Swanshan, where they could like control the gifted and still use their powers, but not have be ruled by them. That's kind of where we come in. Did I get that correct?
Uh, yeah, I liken the tenants less to the Shanjan.
No, the tenants are the
It's
oaths. I
oaths.
meant the like the administrators of the Swanshan and like the
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah. Yeah, the tenants are definitely the oaths that taken on the oath rods
yeah.
in Wheel of Time. So, um, yes, that's about it. I could not place how far back the prologue was, though.
I think that's like 2,000 years ago. I think that's the prologue makes no sense. We can get to it, but like it will become interesting when like the barrier falls and like the demons come out or whatever the hell. But like right now, it makes zero sense. It's like even it makes even less sense than like the prologue of Eye of the World. It's very much like a one of those type of epic prologues to be like, hey, crazy shit's gonna happen. But Eye of the World, like you could kind of like see what happened, told like a complete story of Lewis there and all this stuff. But this is just kind of like this dude is talking to like a shadow who was his master, and then like goes into a portal and goes away. I don't know.
Yeah.
Probably it's probably gonna be cool.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean that seems like the history of this world, and kind of the factions that we have laid out.
yeah, and we start off in the country of Andara, which is where Davian and Weir and all of them are at. and they're at a magic school. They end up going to a separate country called Desriel as home to the Gilshar, which are like the anti-magic, like at all costs people. Um,
Now things are coming back to me. I'm sorry,
yeah,
I finished reading this like a week and a half to 2 weeks ago.
yeah, we had to postpone recording. Yeah, so that's what's happened. And then I think those are the only two countries we've been to so far. Um,
Yeah, yeah, so they were in Andara at the school,
yeah,
and then when
in
Asha
Paladel.
goes, they were in different cities, right? What was the city?
Yeah, Toll something.
Tolathian.
Tolath, yes.
That was the city where the school was, but now Asha is with
North Warden.
the North Warden, yeah.
Weir's father, right? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Weir is the nephew of the king and son of the North Warden.
Yes.
And the North Warden was the one that created the tenants.
Yes. Ooh. And yeah.
Um,
Um, yeah. So I guess brief summary. It's a lot that happens. So we get this crazy prologue that will make sense later. Um, we
Probably
meet
halfway through book two.
probably. I'm assuming that guy's gonna like show up or something. He said like the waters of reincarnation, so maybe it's another wheel time thing where like Davian is the dude from the past or whatever. Did you get that? Because they mentioned like reincarnation. I was like, oh shit, they're really doing wheel time. Um, in the
Yeah,
prologue.
I think Caden is that guy.
I could see that. But yeah, we start off, we meet Davian and Weir and Asha. They're at the magic school. Uh we see kind of how they deal. They basically have this thing that you get if you like you misuse magic or do it out of turn, you get this like basically stilling or you get your magic removed from you and it turns you into a shadow and it like wipes your mind memories of a couple of days and it like gives you black veins. It's pretty cool. So we get introduced to that, and then we meet Davian, Weir, and Asha. Davian cannot really use magic except he has a super secret ability to just tell lies people are lying, and that's an augur power, which were the ruling class that kind of enslaved-ish. We're not really sure exactly how they ruled people, but it seemed bad because they got risen up and all murdered. So, and then standing orders to kill any augurs that are ever seen. Um, Basically, you can't do magic. There's like a test coming up. He's freaking out. There's some world building with like how people hate the gifted and hate the shadows and blah 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 blah. Basically, it culminates into him getting this artifact, the vessel, by one of his masters, and basically like, "Hey, go to where it points." He's like, "Okay, why am I doing this? I don't know, just do it." So he leaves. Weir ends up tagging along with them, and they go off and to the north. Um, and then a crazy shit thing happens. Asher wakes up and everybody in the school is dead. They've been killed by something. We don't know. It has like a weird name, but no context given. There's a couple of other like master magic user people, the elders that like appear. They're all shady, and they're like, "Oh, you've seen too much, or why'd you get left alive?" And they turn her into a shadow and send her to like the capital or whatever, where all those shadows are. Um,
Was that Elder Talion that did that?
I think so.
The same one that sent Davian away?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Like what is up
They're
with this guy?
they're all very shady. We'll see what happens then to them. Basically, we get a bunch of travel stuff with world building with Weir and Davian. We meet a cool lady called Brashada, who I'm assuming is going to come back. Uh,
Probably.
she has like a cool sword and she kills some hunters
Is
because
her
people.
sword name Slayer or was that the
I think that was the other
gambler
one. That's the one that Davian has.
that
I think it.
well he had he left
Yeah,
it.
had
Yeah.
yeah. Um, But yeah, she seems cool. She's like, my debt to you is paid. I think she drops a name, but I don't remember it. But very weird. He's like still trying to like follow the thing. It turns into like a wolf head. So he's like, oh, we have to go this way. Eventually, through other things that we'll get into probably in the discussion, they meet up and they find this dude, Caden, is captured. They end up rescuing him. They find out that he is wanted and tried for murdering like an entire village and like mutilating their bodies and crazy shit. But he says he has no memories. Then we meet this other dude. A lot happens. Terrace Sar. He was like, he's the guy that actually saved Davian as a child, and was like, he's like, the barriers to the north is falling. I've been trying to collect evidence that shit's going bad. Um, because they've stopped keeping records of the shield because it's just been the same for like 1,000 years. Like, why do we keep doing this? It's gonna be good forever. But he's like, stuff's falling down. It's getting bad, and they end up traveling. They need so they're in Desriel, which is like basically Uber White Cloak, magic hatingville. And like if you ever like use a little bit of your magic, they'll like track you down and kill you. Uh, so they're like, we're gonna get back to our home country, but the since Caden killed a bunch of people, they're gonna be on like high alert with the borders. So we need to find a way. So like, all right, cool. There's a ceremony at a city that the king of Andar is gonna be. We can go tag there because I have some contacts. So they go there. There's more shit that happens. We'll get into it. Basically, they get to the city. They find out instead the princess is there, and she spots Weir. She's like, "Oh my God, it's you!" And we find out that Weir is the prince of Andara, and he refuses to turn in Caden. So they're like on their own basically. It's kind of a long-winded way of saying shit happens in this book.
Yes. A few other things I'll point out that I thought were very um,
Oh yeah, a lot of stuff happens to Asha. We'll get into that in her character
okay.
because that was just basically the dating stuff. Basically, Asha
Why did
goes.
we switch places?
I don't know. Asha goes to a place and basically becomes a representative to the palace underneath the North Warden's purview. Through a bunch of people dying, and we meet the Shadraheen, which is like the leader of the shadows in the basement underneath the capital or something weird.
Yeah, that kind of stuff kind of confused me a little bit.
Yeah, it's a little confusing. Um, but yeah, all cool stuff. We can get that into the when we get to the actual people. Yeah, so you want to do the segments or what you got for the summary?
Yeah, I mean, you just covered that Duke Elosian, who's the North Warden, wants to have Asha as his representative. Um, that's definitely something about she was the only survivor of the school that his son was at. So something with that. And then the encounter with the Aelrith or the Watcher in both places, having gone from Asha
Yeah,
and Shadraheen all the
the
way over
sh
to Caden and
the Shateth.
the Shot Death. So yeah, those are some bigs. Um, yeah, we can just go through our new thing, so we can start talking about like the world building and setting. Obviously, we've
Done some of it.
established some of it, and that it's very much like Wheel of Time. So that
Mhm.
helps. Uh, Usually helps me a lot with keeping track of what kinds of things are, especially when the worlds are so alien. If you can attach it to something that's kind of similar. then
Mhm.
it's easier to go along with the story and kind of understand what's going on.
Yeah.
A few of the things that I thought were pretty cool, like um, let's see, what was it? The boundary actually reminds me of Wizard's First Rule,
Yeah.
um, which if I mean I'm not going to spoil it, but if you've read that book, I think you can understand what I mean there. Um, Vessels, they're like Angreal from Wheel of Time.
Basic.
Whichever version stores a specific purpose that you can use without uh, having access to the one power.
Mm.
Um, I think there's other little things like the city of Ilan Ilan, like reminds me of Ilion. Andara reminds me of Andor.
You know?
So, um, but yeah, most of what you laid out earlier about the world is exactly like the bulk of what I had going on right there. Other things were just likenesses to Wheel of Time or even Sword of Truth series.
Yeah.
What are the stuff you have?
Yeah, I mean, I think what separates it a little bit from Wheel of Time is the shadow concept about how, because there's a lot of them. There's enough of them to have like a basically an entire city underneath the city, and there's like an ancient dev device that powers the city that if non-shadows go near, they like die. So that's interesting. Do you remember that?
Is that the cylinder
I think so. It
that
was
the
in this.
Watcher usually sits by?
It was with it was where Asha was and before she left the city. Um so like that's interesting. Because in Wheel Time, like distilled there's only a couple examples in the book those books, and so there's not like really a big society. And they don't what's interesting is like she doesn't seem to like miss using magic. The magic system's also not defined at all right now, which is interesting. But unlike Wheel of Time or something, where it's like kind of an addiction and like so the absence of the magic, you feel like a lesser person. This kind of feels like maybe it burned away the memories of it or something. But like they don't seem to, she doesn't seem to miss using magic that much.
Yeah, I feel that it's reversible though.
I think so too. That's probably how that guy didn't have the tenants or whatever, right?
Probably. It's like if you don't need the tenants once you're a shadow because you can't use the essence.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, she's also very young. So like, um, and then the other kid, Liam, that's the first one that we saw. Like Davian and
yeah,
Liam, I think we're watching him get turned into a shadow.
yeah,
And I mean, it was scary, right? Like to them, they're like, "Oh shit, he's turning into a shadow," and nobody wants to be turned into a shadow.
yeah,
But apparently, after the fact, it's I guess they accept it, and they're not like I don't know if it's some magical thing that blocks them from like missing it
yeah.
necessarily.
I don't know.
Because I also didn't get the sense that they were depressed either, you know.
Yeah, they kind of just doing their own thing.
I mean, they're a second class.
Yeah,
They become a second class citizen,
basically.
even from just normal people. It's like, oh, you were gifted, and now you're not gifted, so you're less than just a normal non-gifted person that was never gifted in the first place.
Yeah. So yeah, they get all the resentment of the gifted, but they don't actually have the cool powers. I'm very curious if if it's gonna be a soft or hard magic system. Because right now it's very soft. It kind of feels a little bit like referencing Will Tommy, like how like Eye of the World's magic system was very, very just loosey goosey. It seemed like Moraine could do anything really. and then over time it got coalesced. So I wonder if, because it was kind of interesting that we were in a school of magic and we didn't learn anything about the magic system because Davian couldn't use the magic. Um,
Well, in Wheel of Time, I don't think we actually learned anything about the magic system when we were in the magic school.
True, but you got it over time.
You did, but you never you never had classes where they're like teaching about it. You're like, oh,
No,
okay, these women are going to classes and they're learning it, but
no,
we never get to see any of it.
they did the Buffy style of schooling where it's like we don't want to read about you learning stuff. We're gonna just actually have you do fun stuff, which is I quite enjoy. But yeah, other uh if we get some, the political machinations, there was like a war between Andara and Desriel that like so they have like tensions because from what I remember, Desriel doesn't trust the tenants, but it's like they were like, okay, fine, we won't like invade and kill all of the gifted. That's why like if they're caught helping Caden, which we'll talk about later, like get into the thing, they're gonna start a war. Um, so just a little bit more, world building that way. And then also, something we didn't talk about is we like get a scale of a demon or something that like is like cold to the touch and can like slice your fingers off if you touch it wrong, which was fun.
Oh yeah. Did Caden have that or did Terrace have that?
Terrace had it. He said he found it from like a dead Trolloc or whatever they're called in this world.
The Dargathan.
Yeah, Target. Yeah, those.
There's Dargathan and there's Elatai. But they were described as twisted fusions of men and animals. And I was like,
Hmm.
that's Trollocs.
Yeah. Yeah. Eh, it's fine to take some inspiration. So I won't fault it too much. It's still fun. And it's different. It's different enough.
Yeah, I
It's
agree.
not like you know, if it was like, carbon copy, we would, would shit talk it more, but this is just kind of using the tropes. Like it really does feel like, and it is fun. Like the author grew up reading Wheel of Time. It was like, I want to make another kind of Wheel of Time or my version of Wheel of Time. Because like Sanderson, he's still in the same genre and he finished like Wheel of Time. But like Stormlight doesn't feel like Wheel of Time.
No.
It feels like an epic fantasy. But this definitely feels like if it was put out in 2005, like it would be slotted right in with all the other fantasy books coming out that time, which is fun.
Yeah, I like it. It's different enough, like you said. Um, but he doesn't it, things seem to function differently, but he has nods. I mean, like, you know, we got what different books have like their version of the Misty Mountains, right? The Mountains
Hmm.
of Mist,
Yeah.
um, type things. There's always like certain areas that are like you said tropes. It's like
Yeah.
these are tropes of fantasy. All right, you're
Yeah.
gonna have a swamp, you're gonna have a mountain, you're gonna have an underground mine,
Mhm.
um, you're gonna have
Uh,
Palace City,
yeah.
a
A lot of times,
wasteland
a
of the
lot of times have
desert,
a wasteland that like it's been corrupted, like the waste in Wheel of Time. Uh, like Warhammer Fantasy has like the chaos waste, I think, and like this has
Mordor, and
Mordor. Yeah. So it's just tropes. Like none of the characters are quite like you know they're kind of their own thing, which is fun.
yeah,
Yeah.
they are not enough alike any of the main characters in Wheel of Time
Yeah.
or even Sword of Truth right now.
Yeah, like you could say maybe Weir's a little bit like Matt because he's like the more of a jokey character, but even then he's completely different. Um, so yeah, I'm still enjoying it. Trying to think of any other. Yeah, like it's a lot of like terms and stuff. It's one of those ones that definitely throws you in, and you just kind of have to learn the terms as they're coming, and kind of yeah, it doesn't hold your hand. Like I feel like some modern fantasy has started to do a little bit more.
Yeah. Um, I getting towards the end of this, and I think it was in the like last three chapters or so. They really broke down some things. Like I think it was Terrace or yeah, Terrasar was telling them all sorts of information and
Hmm.
explaining things. I was like, finally, like
Yeah,
they're not just talking about these things and the audience just listening and going, what?
yeah, yeah. It definitely feels like the book has started. Like this was like a giant prologue, and now the book has started. Um, Oh, another just quick while we're still on the world building. I liked the concept of like the priest that they met, where it's like every month you rotate like sins or gluttonous things.
Oh
Remember that guy?
yeah.
Where he's like, this time I get drunk for a month, but next time I get sober for a month, and then like I have pain for a month and then pleasure for a month. It seems like a crazy system.
And I like the comment that he's like one of them said it was like, oh, so like 8 out of 12 months you can be drunk or something like that.
Yeah.
Because they're like going through, it's like, hey, you can drink it this month. You can drink it this month. You can drink it
Yeah.
this month.
But this month you're getting like tortured or something. I don't know. It seems like a crazy system. The Gilshari are very strict because they're also like, if you don't do this, you die. You get executed. And that it seems like they kill people for anything, any like little misdeed, which is kind of crazy. You want to get into the characters, or you got anything else in the world building?
No, world building. Trying to think. Yeah, I mean, I can sit here and keep naming like things that I thought of in Wheel of Time, but we're not going to do that. We're going to keep it as its own
Yeah,
thing. We've established that it's like Wheel of Time, so we're not
yeah.
going to
Well,
beat that dead horse. So characters.
if anything overt comes up that like we're like, oh, that's a cool like homage to like a cool moment in real time, we'll bring it up.
Yeah,
Um,
but there's
yeah,
lots of characters.
there are.
Lots of characters.
All right. You want to start with the main character first,
Uh,
Damien?
yeah, Davian. Well, we could talk about in the prologue we have this character Tal.
Yeah.
Um, I was confused like whether like he seems like a sorcerer type that has a patron
Hmm.
who could be Arcane Devade or whatever.
Hmm.
Um, it was like in the last few paragraphs right before he jumped off of the cliff.
Yeah, he makes like a portal.
Yeah. He mentioned like that name, Arcane Devade, and that name comes up later on too. So, but I don't know if he was like bound to him and decided that, he's not gonna be his patron anymore.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I mean, for the most part, it was nonsense and not tied to anything yet, and not
Yeah.
enough to make you go, oh, it's just like here's just a fight between this guy and this like demon, but like the end of the fight.
Yeah.
So
Or
like,
like not even like really a fight. It's just like he's like, that's my master. I'm bound to him, but I've like somehow screwed you over or something, and jumps into a portal. Yeah, he's character wise. I don't. I mean, he's not really there because I don't. We have known nothing about him. Um, though it does. I mean, it does the whole thing that the whole point of it, like the prologue in Wheel of Time, the prologue in Stormlight, where like, prologue in Stormlight is like, hey, like crazy epic shit is gonna be in this book. Just hold on. there's gonna be like some, you know, doldrums, slavery, and a girl that's looking for patronage. Like, but don't worry, it's gonna be there. So I feel like that's the point of it, him in this book. I'm very curious if the waters of reincarnation or whatever, if that's like literal and like one of our main characters is him reborn. Um,
I feel like it's Caden. Like
I, yeah, you can see that.
I would be surprised if it wasn't. But also, it seemed. I mean, you thought it was Davian. You think it was Dave. It is Davian.
I mean, he's the first character. He's the main character so far. Yeah, it's very much an ensemble right now, but he was the first person we're introduced to, like like Rand, uh, bringing it back. But it just seems like he's going to be the main character. He's the augur, which is going to have special powers. May I could see it maybe being Asha, and that's why she was left alive by the weird thing that we don't really know that killed everybody else, which would be interesting. But I feel like he's going to come back in some way.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah,
Book
you wanna
proper. We
book
got
proper
Davian.
Davian. So Davian is the student. He's the augur. He has a special power that can read my. You can tell if people are lying or not. Sometimes,
Yeah, they
if
get
they if they
fuzzy.
if they don't, yeah, they breathe out this like smoke. Um, if they are susceptible to Jedi mind tricks, he can he can tell if they're lying or not, which is funny. Um, I'm assuming he's gonna get more powerful than that. He can also like maybe tap into past lives or something and use a sword real good once. And because he killed that one guy. He also like
He seems to be able to slow time and enter. Um, well, shit, I can't even tell you about that. Um, there's another book series that has time bubbles.
I know about the power.
Okay. Um, and you can slow
Yeah,
time and do that, or
maybe, man.
hmm,
Yeah,
there
it's
was a. I'm trying to think of the other thing. It was the flame, like going
mm,
into
the
the flame
void.
in real time.
Yeah, yeah, I could see that. He also is able to like mind wipe people because he like mind wiped the smuggler,
Oh
um,
yeah,
which was kind of crazy. But like I said, the magic system is very nebulous right
soft.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't. What we do know is it doesn't use essence because none of the finders beeped whenever he did that. So that's fun. So two magic systems maybe. But yeah, he's like every main character, naive boy coming to man. He's very sheltered. Um, you know, very nice to people. Kind of just every man character is kind of what I describe him as. Very feels kind of like very Rand-esque at the beginning, just very kind of wholesome, naive kid that's getting thrust into the world.
Yeah, from a small town.
Very small time. Yeah.
Yeah, kind of entitled, maybe. Like
Mm.
he was entitled enough to go to the College of Magic.
Well, they're forced to go there because he got the like emblem or whatever. Like, oh, you have to go to learn your powers, and if you don't, you become a shadow. Bye.
If you
Um,
if you
and then
don't, you got this symbol. You have to go learn how to use your powers. But if you don't have powers, then you become a shadow. Wait, what? Why can't I
yeah,
just go back to being a normal person?
yeah, that's a little weird. He does have like a scar because he got beat up by the town bullies for being a gifted. So,
Is he
but yeah,
Harry Potter?
yes, I didn't say lightning scar. We'll see if he becomes Harry Potter.
He's the boy who lived.
Yeah, maybe. He does. We do see his like kind of cunning shine through at some certain points of him using his lying powers to like be able to trick people and like you know do some fun stuff with like the gambling.
Oh yeah, the
And
gambling was
they're
great.
yeah, where they're making money and he's using like Brashada's name. Who's definitely gonna come back hopefully. But yeah, he's fun. He's kind of like milquetoast a little bit right now, but I assume he's gonna get really cool.
Explain milk toast.
Just
Bland.
kind, yeah, just kind of by the numbers, bland. You know, he's not like particularly funny or like particularly interesting. You know, like Caden, you have um this kind of dark, mysterious past and like his like thing. Weir has a mysterious past that gets a little bit clear, and he's like kind of more funny. He's just kind of like the main character. He's like Batman almost. Like actually, he's just like the good character that just flows through the story that people bounce off of.
Yeah. Yeah. You go to Weir. Like you were saying, so the difference between like Davian and Weir, it was I found it funny how often he would start to explain like something historical or political,
Mhm.
and Davian's like, "How do you know this?" And he's like, I read a book. Like, I read a book once." He's like, "Well, how did you memorize that?" I got a good memory. Like
Yeah.
Davian never picks up that there's something else about his best friend.
He does, but he doesn't want to pry, which is interesting.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I'm not. I know you're something weird going on, but I'm not gonna get into it.
I mean, his name is Weir.
Yeah,
Weird.
yeah.
Uh,
That's not his real name.
no, his it is not his real name. Well, it's part of his.
Yeah, it's part of
It's
his
a
name.
shortened version of his middle name, right?
Yeah,
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 which I didn't write down his full name, but it doesn't matter. He
yeah.
goes by Weir, so
Yeah, he goes by Weir. Yeah, throughout most of this reading, he's like, we get the hints that he's something more. It's pretty obvious he has like a noble birth or something like that. Kind of reminded me a little bit of even I didn't finish. I've read a decent amount of it. I didn't finish it. Elantris, the like prince, where it's like
okay.
a little bit of that. Not in like storyline, but just kind of like a prince that suddenly got powers and got like shunted off to a city. Um, but yeah, I think it's going to be more interesting when since we found out his true identity. And he's also used his powers before, so he's a magic user, which is fun.
Yeah, and he probably, I mean, he had way more background with those than Davian or Asha did. Um,
Yeah,
Being that his father created the tenants. So I wouldn't be surprised if his father, if he's not beholden to the tenants, or if he knows a way around them.
yeah. He's like he believes. What's interesting also is he believes in the tenants. He just wants to modify them. He's like, all right, the gifted need some checks and balances because like the augurs were tyrannical, but they went a little too far on what we can and can't do, and probably like the shadow stuff and like just that craziness. But he's like, yeah, I'm gonna change. Hopefully, the goal is to like change the tenants, so like we're good.
Do you think that's going to come up with a having his father be one of the villains, an
Uh,
antagonist at the minimum, maybe not a villain, but an antagonist to Weir and Davian goals?
maybe I don't know. I don't get the sense that the North Warden is gonna be bad. I have a feeling it's gonna be like a mentor to like Asha, and then probably like die or something. It'll be like a one of those maybe the tenants are fixing to get changed, and he's like learning more. Maybe she like helps him learn some stuff, and then like the demons attack, and they have to like flee or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just thinking like the idea. So he created the tenants, right?
Yeah,
So the tenants were put in place to control the gifted.
yeah.
And so, like, why you would want to control the gifted because you think they were too powerful,
Hmm.
right? But they're not necessarily. I mean, in this case, we have our main characters who are going to a school for the gifted, and they seem to be um, noble, like protagonists. Like we're supposed to root for them,
Yeah.
but they're confined by these tenants, right? So like it seems like it's a shackle, if you will, like a
Well, yeah. I mean, it's literally just the oaths that the Aes Sedai use. So for the line part. And in real time it also makes sense to have, you know, if you have these people that have these powers, you can't just rely on them to always be good. You do need some checks and balances.
right. I just it feels different than like the O's because like the O's they were all I I didn't get the sense that one person came up with them. It was like
Well, didn't they make the O's because uh they fucked with Arthur Hawkwing and he almost like killed them all? And they're like, oh, okay, we need to actually like appease people and stuff, so they made those, if I remember correctly.
I think you're right.
So it's kind of the same thing. We don't know who actually came up with the tenants. We just know that he like is his family lineage is bound to the magic or something.
Well, no,
But
it states that his the North Warden wrote the tenants.
sure, but we don't know if they're in collaboration with the leaders of the gifted or it doesn't really matter. But yeah, like, but also like that was a time of war where the magic versus regular people, so maybe made them a little too restrictive and is a little regretful, and now it's magically bound. I don't know. I mean, he could, but like he doesn't hate the gifted enough to like sell out his son too much because he sent him to the college in in disguise. Nobody knows he's there, so we'll see.
Yeah, but okay.
Yeah,
Asha,
Asha, the lady, she's cool.
she's
Uh,
Davian's love interest, right?
so far, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see if that holds true. But they're definitely set up that way. Um, yeah, she is interesting because she's a shadow. She becomes a shadow. So we get to learn that and all that stuff. I assume she's also got like weird prophecy shit with her that the Shateth talks to her after he like murks that one dude. He's like, "Hey, don't blah 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 blah." It's about a bunch of shit that will make sense on a reread. Um, so she was the only one that survived the massacre at the school. Um, so I have a feeling like she's gonna be cooler in the future, and she's the representative to like the council for the gifted. Um, so I think she's gonna be more interesting more the book progresses.
I agree. And she goes by a different name in the Toll. I think the place where she's at is called the Toll.
Yeah, it's one of the like strong points of the gifted or whatever.
Yeah, which is a different place than Toll Athian, where she was going to school.
Yes.
But
The names are a lot so at some point.
yeah, I haven't been
Like
keeping track of a whole
I
lot.
was
So
I was starting to kind of get the hang of stuff towards the end of the reading, like which factions are where, and the different countries and stuff. I mean, it's just gonna take time. It's one of those books that, like, first read Game of Thrones, you're like, what are all these people in these houses and these cities? Just gotta get used to it. But yeah,
yeah,
she,
I ended up like skipping over some of that stuff, going, I don't really understand, but I just want to keep reading to find out what the events are going to happen. Like later on, if I do reread it, then sure I'll understand each little place. But
yeah, um, yeah, I like her. It's gonna be interesting when you know, they meet back up, her and Davian and Weir. Because also, very end of the section, Weir finds out that everybody at the school is dead, but Davian just now, it cuts off right when Davian finds out that everybody's dead. So that's gonna be interesting as well. Um,
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
so let's see, Tinvar, yeah, Elder Tinvar was there, and I think Talion, Tinvar, and another. Maybe it wasn't Talion, but anyway, Tinvar was definitely there
mm,
to help turn Asha into a shadow,
yes.
and he's definitely lying. He definitely lied to Asha about Davian's fate.
Yes. Well, he also lied about why they turned into a shadow, which
Yeah,
they're like, your mind broke when you saw all the dead bodies.
and you asked us to make you into a
Yeah,
shadow.
you were gonna like kill yourself basically, and you're like basically take away my pain type, Dalinar esque. Where and they like basically they did the shadow thing, the shadow procedure, and it like basically wipes a couple of days memory, it seems like, from you. Uh, so yeah, they're definitely nefarious. We don't know if they're nefarious for like Davian's side and like the kind of the gifted, or like they're like working with the demons, or it's gonna be interesting. That faction's
It kind of
very,
like they need to protect this. They need to protect Davian from others so that he can complete his mission type thing
yeah,
versus, oh, we sent Davian away because he was the dangerous one, and now we can do what we need to do because he's out of the way on some uh, mythical manhunt type mission.
yeah, yeah. But yeah. Interested seeing who her mentor is gonna be. Because she gets like a mentor, like second partner to be representative with her. So it's gonna be fun. I think her growth is gonna be cool. Curious, you know, this book is very right now. I kind of don't really know where it's gonna go. Because like this section is basically all questions with like very few answers right now.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Oh, yeah, there's a whole bunch of secondary characters after all this. We do have some more main characters like Terrasar,
yeah,
Caden show up, the Duke shows up,
yeah.
the Princess shows up.
Hmm.
Um, we can talk about some of those in a minute. Anar is one of those that's going to come back too, just like Brashada.
Maybe
Um,
he did
uh,
get mind wiped.
yeah, he actually kind of reminded me a little bit like a mix of Strider and Han Solo.
Mm, okay.
Um,
I never got he was that cool. To
no,
me,
just him
yeah.
showing up and he was like sitting in the corner watching them. Was like, "You come with me," like remind me of like Strider.
Hmm.
I forget why I wrote Han Solo. I forget the events that he
I
did.
mean, he's a smuggler, so
That would be part of why.
yeah, he seems cool. I would be a little surprised if he comes back. Um, just because he seems like one of those like one-off characters to me. Where like Brashada seems like a more likely to come back because she has like a mysterious patron that made her like help them out. She like hates the gifted. She's also like super badass.
And her
Uh,
sword is named Whisper, by the way.
yeah. So like she's definitely coming back. Maybe Anar will come back, but I don't know.
Rashada is definitely coming back. And
Yeah.
then Slayer is definitely going to, the sword is definitely going to come back at some point.
Yeah. I see that.
He left it in the grass.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Uh,
it it's just really never really like talk too much about that. Like, oh my God, like how did you do that? Blah blah. They kind of like drop it pretty quickly. Like, how did you just like murder that dude really easily? Who's killed like 1,000 gifted or whatever. Um, but yeah. Um, the princess seems interesting.
yeah, I do like the princess. I kind of do get a feeling of like, it's weird. Here and there, I start to think about like Jacques, not Jacques, Jean.
Hmm.
Uh, like I feel like Weir is kind of like Jean.
Okay.
Um, and then the princess, I don't know. I know I went back to Weir, but the
Yeah.
princess is kind of like a relationship type. Like, um, I know it was what was Barsavi's daughter
Okay.
could potentially like be kind of like her. Um,
Yeah, I can see it. Okay, let me ask you this. Did you think that the princess was going to be the pretty girl that Davian knocked over
in the market.
in the market?
Yeah, a la Jasmine, like
Yeah.
Jasmine's. Yeah, I even wrote that. I even wrote it here. It was like,
Once they said it was a princess, like, oh, okay, she's the pretty girl that he knocked over in the market.
yeah, I wrote that down. Uh, Here, I was like, likely the girl Davian bumped into in town. I was like,
Yeah.
nope, it's
No,
not.
I was surprised about that. I was a little, um,
Or, I mean, it could be,
it
but
could be, but I mean, he saw her and didn't comment on that, so.
it,
um,
that chick is definitely somebody, though. I'm pretty sure.
yeah,
She,
yeah.
she was too pretty. Maybe she becomes the love interest. Um, so, Asha and Davian are not destined to be lovers.
Ooh. Yeah, it's doing another real time thing.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, there's not too much to say about the princess. She's gonna be, she might, what's gonna be kind of cool is she might show up with, and we get Asha at her meeting,
I
because
could see that.
she's gonna go back to the capital or whatever where Asha's gonna be, and maybe they develop a friendship, which would be interesting. But yeah, she seems fun. Her main purpose in this section is to do the backstory of Weir. Um, but I definitely think she'll be in the books more.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um,
Oh, let's see. We had an interesting thing here. So Gil was I found the so when Asha was with the Shadraheen and whatnot and doing things before she met the Duke, like we had Gil, which was an administrator who seems to extort shadows, um, especially this one Raiden, um, into doing work for him that's not like shadow work, but he's like, you need to do this for me because I'm an administrator. And they're like, well, that's not what I do. And it's like, no, you're gonna do it. And Asha kind of stood up for him. But it's kind of weird. Like administrators are weird to me.
they are weird. I I will say I don't really like the term because it feels more like modern science fiction-y to me. I didn't know exactly for a while. I didn't know if they were like still magic user, but they're basically like the cops, the ruling body that are like looking down on them. But the term is just was throwing me. I was like, oh, the administrators at the school, because there's also it starts off at a school and they talk about the administrators. I was like, oh, they're like over the elders, which they technically are, but like they're like gifted, but they're not gifted. They're basically the cops. I think I think the term should have been changed. Like you have like the oh my God. In Mistborn you have like the arbiter or the oh my God, whatever, it doesn't
Yeah.
matter. But like this still Inquisition has like different people that have more fantasy names than like administrators.
Right. Which you, oh man, why? I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah. Um but yeah. So it did give it a little bit more of like a I was like, oh, we're gonna get into like a little sci-fi fantasy because it's very um just more modern term to me at least. I don't know.
Obligators.
Yeah. Like I don't know if you got the little like the term threw you off a little bit.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out like why, like what are they administrators of? I was like,
Yeah.
are these like kind of like not necessarily teachers, but like prelates or like just
Yeah.
staff type people in the schools or something? Like,
Yeah. And I don't know if they have like a role in society. Like they're very unclear to me. Like if they are like their their job is to like look after the gifted, which I'm guessing it is, but it's never really stated too explicitly.
yeah, I don't know. They're weird.
Yeah. But we'll probably get more of that as the book goes on.
Uh,
Um, I mean, we have a couple of like big people we could talk about, then we can move on to
yeah, go
right
ahead.
writing style stuff. We have Caden, the mystery boy with amnesia that they were sent to find
Here's
or
a
something.
wolf symbol
Wolf
that's
symbol.
connected to the
He knows a bunch of shit,
cube.
including the language of the Shateth, and has mystery powers and maybe massacred a whole village and mutilate their faces, which would be fun to see if that's true. Um, I don't know. He's he's like a nice little boy with amnesia. I don't really have much with him right now. Um, I guess
Yeah,
we
he
can do.
kind of also reminds me of the no, I don't even think I finished watching the first season of Rings of Power, but the Maiar guy
Okay.
that ends up with the pre-Hobbit people.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Do you want to spoil Rings of Power for you?
No,
Okay.
I don't think people want to be spoiled Rings of Power, but I mean, I have
Yeah.
my guesses, but yeah,
Yeah.
I just got burned out on the show for
Yeah.
whatever reasons, but it
Not
kind of
really
his
good.
situation reminds me of that.
Yeah, or like The Witcher, like Geralt, like Witcher 2, I think. Witcher 1 or 2. He starts off with amnesia. I mean, it's a trope a lot of people have. Um, I guess we have one prediction from you that he is, if somebody's reincarnated from the guy in the prologue, you think it's going to be him. All right, let me ask you this. Do you think he did it? Do you think he massacred everybody?
Um, ye, I'm going to say yes, but I don't think he had control of it.
Hmm. Okay.
So if we can go back to the fact that he is the guy in Like if he is in fact the guy in the prologue, then maybe he's still attached to a demon, and he goes into a fugue state, and it happens.
Okay.
Or he doesn't have control over it takes control of him and does something.
Mm.
I could see that being the case. I don't think he willingly
Yeah.
massacred and mutilated people.
Yeah.
I think he is a force of good um, in this story.
Okay. Yeah. I think
Like
you're.
on a redemption, like his character is on that upside of a redemption arc. Because
Yeah.
he seemed to be in the pro at the end of the prologue, uh, kind of mournful and regretful of actions he had done.
Mm. Yeah. I see your point probably being correct. I do think it would be interesting if he was like actually a bad guy. And you get the whole thing of like, they restore his memories and like we get him as villain heel turn. Would be kind of fun. I don't think it's gonna happen, but we shall see. Um, yeah. Also, we kind of know that Caden isn't his real name. Like he heard it from somewhere. I was like, I think that's my name. So it's gonna be interesting to see who he actually is, and why Davian and we were on this random ass quest, to find him. Um, yeah. And then the last guy is Taylor Sar, who's like their mentor. He's like the Strider character or like the Land character. He's the one that saved Davian in the past from getting killed and like was claimed to be dead and is like hiding out and checking on the barrier. What do you got with him? He seems cool, but kind of like that archetype right now, at least.
Yeah, you said it right. He's an archetype character. Um, nothing of note in this story versus that type of character in another story.
Hmm.
Um, but I'm interested to see where that relationship goes and what we find out about him. Um, I think he's tied. I mean, he saved Davian 3 years ago, and now he's back. So there's some type of tie between him and Terrace.
Yeah.
Or sorry, him and Davian. Um, and maybe it's another trace, or they talk about a trace being what the Watcher used to basically teleport straight to them,
Mhm.
and they do. I imagine that's what the Watcher used to get into the Shadraheen place whenever he did, because they mentioned that nobody sees him come and go.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's something there as well. Um,
Yeah. Like he's interesting. I think he would be the most logical to get like a hero's death, like saving them or whatever. Um, but yeah, like he's cool. I don't really have too much on him right now though. He just seems.
yeah,
I
neither
think
do
I
I.
think once like the barrier stuff happens and like we get more like you know because he's the one that has like the scale and stuff. I think he's gonna become more interesting as a character
Yeah, I agree.
and more nuanced.
I do agree.
Okay. We can move on to the writing style. Um, it's very. I think it's well done. I think the descriptions are good. It's a little um not exposition, which is interesting to me. Where like you you kind of have to pick up what the history is, kind of diegetically as they're like talking instead of like it did blah blah blah. Like, they don't do the info dump, which was interesting.
There
Yeah.
was one chapter where
Yes.
it did just dump a whole bunch of stuff. Um,
I mean, the chapter of Weird does it a lot, but there's another one too. Yeah.
yeah, there was chapter three when Davian was telling him, sorry, when Tinvar was telling Davian about the war and the augurs. That was
Mhm.
one, and then one of the later chapters when Weir was explaining things to Davian as well.
Yeah, but I don't think it's too overt.
No, and it's fun because it's fine in the method he does it because Davian is learning about the world and we're
Yeah.
learning about the world with Davian.
Mhm.
So he has a reason to need to learn these things,
Yeah.
and it gives purpose to the why are we reading about it? Like it's not like we're not like the Silmarillion where it's like okay, what's the purpose of us learning about this? Oh, it's just okay, it's just a cool story. Cool.
Yeah.
This is hey Davian, you need to know this about the world. Oh,
Yeah.
I never knew that. And the readers benefit from it.
Yeah. And this is a book that has multiple POVs, which was a nice change from Red Rising. Um, and I feel like each one is we primarily get Davian and Asha. We get a little bit of Weird towards the end, so I'm feeling we're gonna get more of him, and I would guess probably Caden as well, at some point. Um, maybe Terrace, but I was say 4 or 5 POVs. And I feel like they're all distinct enough that I haven't really had a problem with that.
I agree. Yeah, I think we'll get a max of five different POVs
Yeah.
in this book. Next book we might expand, like if the Duke makes it out alive of this book,
Hmm.
we might get some of him, maybe the king. Um, if the Watcher isn't actually dead, like if there's something with their creatures that they can respawn,
Mm.
we might get him or um, one of the other four. Because
Yeah.
speaking of that, I did write this quote from chapter nine where the Watcher was talking to uh, Asha. It said, "For myself and my siblings, four hunt. One hides, cognizant of what he is, a true traitor." So one of them is not on their side. So it'd be interesting. Like that's what I get from that quote.
Yeah.
Um,
Or it's talking about the four of them. Asha, Caden, David, and Weir. Could be that. I don't know.
or yeah. So there could be more than four of the Shaitan, or
But
not
yeah,
Shaitan.
yeah, not Satan is not here. You kind of cross yourself.
Shaiteth.
Uh
Yeah, I think it's Shaiteth.
yeah, the Shata, yeah.
Shateth. So yeah, if the four are Asha, Davian, Weir, and someone, then the one that hides, cognizant of what he is, that's got to be Weir.
Yeah.
If that's referring to not
Not the
Shateth.
shot. Yeah, not the Shata. Yeah.
But it's weird that it goes a true traitor and a shere. The man gazed at her, and I watch. So that
Wait,
last bit where and I watch it,
didn't he? Isn't that the Shiri? Wasn't that what they said killed everybody at the school?
I think so.
So then it's like a rogue Shateth or something? I don't know. Like this book has so many questions and very little answers right now.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
I've been
which
wanting to continue reading, but it's like so thick. If we read more than this section,
yeah, it'd be hard.
it'd be hard to
Um,
talk about.
exactly. Um, yeah. So
But I
far,
really feel like the writing is good enough, and it's more advanced writing than Red Rising.
mhm, yes.
Um, and it's written well enough that I would, if we weren't reading it for the podcast, I would have continued just to read and
Yeah.
move on to the next book and finish it.
Yeah. So
Um,
far, yeah, I'm having a good time with the book. I wouldn't put it down. I probably would have continued as well. Whether I would have, gone on to the rest of the series, we'll have to see if it ends good. Um, but yeah, it was to me, it was very comfort reading. It was like reminded me, like I said, of like we've been saying, real time, that same kind of style, like epic fantasy, kind of good warm blanket, Sanderson, a little bit more adultish than Sanderson. It can be.
More contained than
Yeah,
Sanderson. So, like as much as I like Sanderson, there's a mind frame for a lot of things where I'm going.
yeah,
You can take the different like little series or books and read them for what they are,
hmm
but trying to connect dots in the Cosmere is like a whole nother
yeah,
level of like thinking.
yeah. But what I mean by that is like it feels kind of like old school in that way. Kind of like I said, like mid 2000s, kind of Robert Jordan-esque kind of style, which is good. We
Yeah.
haven't really gotten too much combat, so we'll have to see if his large scale combat or big set pieces kind of hold up to either of those lofty writers, Jesus. But yeah, good, no complaints so far.
Yeah. Um, theme, I mean, not too much to pick up on other than like old mysteries coming to light,
hmm
and people afraid of powers that they don't understand.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Typical high fantasy with magic
hmm
tropes.
Yeah, we got, a hint of like X-Men-esque racism in there with like powered people, uh, the fear of their powers, what's the responsible way of like controlling that sort of thing. We also get a little bit of like, what is truth and how you could like manipulate it to like confuse an augur's power and things like that, which I think will be fun.
Yeah, I did like that bit of what was it? Was it God, it was towards the end where it was somebody was oh Caden, when Caden was talking and he was like, I'm so glad you brought me to such and such place. And like just a little bit of smoke came out right at the end. So like everything he said was true up until that one point, and he's like he wants to die,
Yeah,
but he didn't tell Weir about that. Oh,
yeah,
that was fun.
yeah. It's pretty interesting with those powers. Kind of how you write around it, how you do all that. And I guess the biggest theme right now is mystery because we don't really know what the fuck's going on. Uh,
We need to find out.
we need to find out. Um,
Actually, I mean, before we get to the end of the podcast, I need to find out where we're reading to next. So keep
that'll be
going.
good. Move on to athletic feat of the week. I have two, I guess probably him murdering that dude with a sword was pretty cool. I don't know if it's technically athletic if it's using magic. Um,
Yeah, the only
The
thing I had, that's why I had a problem figuring out something here, but
yeah,
I said technically not athletic, but Caden's attack on um, the Watcher
yeah,
was
yeah.
pretty epic. Like
That was pretty cool.
seemed like if you're gonna compare something that's
Oh,
in awe, it's like nobody's seen that type of level of power before.
mm-hmm.
So that was
I
amazing.
actually got one. That dude, they rode across that river, and that one big guy was like not even winded. I was like, oh man, that's an athletic feat.
With
Anar. When yeah,
the other two
Anar.
guys with an R.
Yeah, like he had like one big brute guy with him, and they both like rode across the river, and they're like, yeah, they're like barely winded. I'm like, pretty athletic.
Hey, there you go. It
Yeah,
was
yeah,
such a tiny little
yeah,
pool too.
yeah. Uh, yeah, it's hard to find athletic stuff with magic. Um,
I didn't really have a least favorite moment. Like nothing really stood out as ah I didn't like.
yeah, my least favorite is kind of like their Davian and Weir's like beginning quest, not really knowing what the fuck they were trying to do. It was just kind of odd. Like it was just like go north, and like they go north, and I don't really get why he gave him the vessel and like what the whole like none of that makes too much sense to me. So it was a little confusing.
Yeah,
And it's kind of like I wish it was like more like you need to go find this dude, and they go find him. But it was like get this thing, kind of like look at it, see if it pops up, and then go there. And like, okay. And they're like, why are we doing this? Like, I don't know. We're doing it. They told
I
us to
could
do
see
it.
that.
That was a little, yeah, not my favorite.
You know.
Um, but all in all, pretty good.
Yeah, yeah. My favorite moments, let's see. Um, like we've talked about it, Davian grabbing Slayer and killing Goron
Mm-hmm.
after the Lost Wager. That one was pretty epic.
Mm-hmm.
And then the end of chapter 11 where we have Caden um the magic coming from Caden and the fight with the Watcher.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can see that. We're all good. I'll probably pick mine. It's a dark moment, but it was kind of when I knew like shit was popping off and it was gonna get interesting. Was when Asha woke up and everybody was dead, and like her walking through and finding all the corpses and then like becoming a shadow, like the whole chapter. Once that happened, I was like, oh, okay, like crazy shit's gonna, going down now. Um, so I think that was my favorite part, as dark as it is.
Yeah. I mean that I can see that being cool. That kind of reminds me of the prologue of Eye of the World.
Mm.
Just like walking through and seeing dead people
Yeah,
everywhere.
we always comment on how, I enjoy horror. I think the horrificness of that was really well written. And then like the weird betrayal of like the elders. So you're like, oh shit, what's actually going on? And yeah, it just sets up a really interesting thing. I think the other thing I just kind of like, as where Davian and them are at, I like her becoming like the representative and like her relationship with the North Warden sets up really interesting things for the rest of the thing. So yeah.
Yeah.
And then the moments you said were good too.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I validate you.
Um, all right. So I made a prediction on Caden.
Hmm.
Do you have any other predictions in our current state?
Um, I made one that I think Terrace is probably gonna die.
You
Um,
did make that one.
um, maybe not this section, but I think this book. Um, and I think. Her, Asha and the princess are like gonna meet and become friends. Things like that.
I could see that. I could see that. I think the boundary, whether it's
Hmm.
restored or destroyed, is going to be resolved in book one.
Ooh, okay.
I think that opens the world opens up.
That means it's probably gonna get destroyed.
Yeah, or they go to the other side.
Good. So yeah,
Kind of like the Coldfire trilogy.
mhm. Yeah,
There's some type of barrier there too, right?
yeah, it is.
I really want to reread those books.
They're fun.
They
The
are.
audiobook's good too if you have it.
I have them. I have them on audiobook. It's
Um,
such a strange world though. Like, and
it is.
it's been so long since I've been in it that I get confused on some
Yeah,
stuff. But
it's interesting. It's kind of like Stormlight a little bit. Like the sprint. They're not like sentient in there, but they're like forces that you can manipulate and then change stuff. So cool. We should do that for one of our. That would give you a reason to reread them.
yeah, the Magister trilogy is pretty good too.
That's a good two. I I need to reread that as well.
Yeah, I remember it's that messed up spring break we went on.
Hmm.
I had one of those books that just came out that I was reading. I think it was Wings of Wrath, the second one had just come out. I was reading on that trip.
Her young adult series is also pretty good if you haven't read it. Dreamwalkers and stuff.
I think I started reading the first one and it
It's
was a
very young
little,
adult.
yeah, I think it was too low level for my mind, where my
Yeah.
mind was at when I was reading it. It might be good because
They're
I
fun.
do like some young adult stuff. Like, uh,
Reminded me of like his Dark Materials and stuff like that.
okay, yeah, Sanderson has a single book called The Rhythmatist.
Mm.
That's where I got my chalk right guy in
Mm.
Caleb's campaign from.
Yeah,
It's kind of like Harry Potter, but with chalk.
it's fun.
So it's like Harry Potter meets Yu-Gi-Oh type thing or like stuff, but it's like chalk
Hmm.
creatures on the ground come rise up and fight and stuff.
Sounds fun.
Yeah,
To read
really
that.
really fun.
Yeah. She has a Cold Fire prequel out that just came out a couple years ago.
Yeah,
I wanted to read that. I haven't read it yet. There's
I
too many
have
books
it.
to read, Brandon.
I have it.
Yes, there's too many books to read.
There are so many books to read.
Um,
Um, so all right. Well, this was a fun conversation for this first third of the book, and I'm excited
mhm.
to continue it. So, our next reading will pick up at chapter 19. We're going to read through chapter 37. And that should be the second third of the book. And that's going to be our conversation for the next episode. And if you have made it this far, we appreciate you um, spending time listening to us talk. And, if you have any thoughts or agreements, disagreements, or anything else, favorite moments of anything, leave us a comment on the YouTube page. If you're listening to the audio, we have these videos up on our YouTube channel. I think the Paperweights Pod. Let's see, the Paperweights Podcast YouTube. I should know this, right?
Probably.
At Paperweights Pod on YouTube. That's the channel. Do we have all these videos up there? And you can go leave us a comment, and I will, interact with you, make comments. We could talk. So, don't spoil anything. That would be silly and rude. So. But speaking of that, all that stuff, go ahead, click that like button, that follow button, subscribe, and share this with your friends and family, your enemies too. And leave us a rating and a review if you can, anywhere where it is available. And make sure you visit our sponsor, Mudcat Whiskers, and pick up some uh, beard products, candles, or cologne. And use code Paperweights at checkout. And we will see you next episode.
Bye.
Bye.